Hello, beautiful people. Here you are with me, probably going through Ascension symptoms, and I want to talk about this. This is a really important conversation. The main Ascension symptom. We're going to talk about that today, and I have this board here that talks about the process of this main Ascension symptom. So let's dive in. We're going to dive in pretty deep and rise high. And we're all doing this together to remember our greatness together. I love you, beautiful people, sending light and love. This ascension process and embodying our ascension is not a walk in the park. Much to my own surprise, I thought, raise my vibration and life will be just hunky-dory and just create and manifest exactly what I want and live the dream. It's not going that way for me. Yes, there's so much to be grateful for. However, as we raise our vibration and we bring in this ascension energy, a lot's happening, right? Lots happening. We have to process things. We have to integrate, release, adjust, assimilate, shift, transform, destroy, and uncreate. All those things are happening. So as our cells have to do this, our energetic body has to do this, our chakras have to do this, right? The ascended self, the authentic ascended spark of our ascended self kind of sits here kind of waiting for us to do all this. And as we prime the canvas, if you will, for that ascension energy, that energy just sits there. It's like, okay, guys, I'm waiting for you. And the cells are being primed. The DNA is lengthening. We are letting go of certain cording and certain structures so that we can really embody this ascension. And all of this stuff here, processing, integrating, releasing, is really uncomfortable. This is the main ascension symptom, discomfort. Now we can break that up, we can break that down into all here, which is depression, sleeplessness, dizziness, brain fog, tired, anxious, headaches, ego death, grief, agitation, doubt. I'm sure there's more. So all of this processing creates experiences of this stuff. And this is interesting here as I was coming about talking to this today. Each one of these has something that's it's gifting us. And so, yes, this ascension symptom is really uncomfortable. The main ascension symptom is like, I am so uncomfortable. I am shedding my skin. We're like hermit crabs, right? Or crabs molting. They're starting to get really uncomfortable in their old skin. That's what's happening to us too. We're getting really uncomfortable in our old skin. And these symptoms help us to really feel that greatly so that we get the pearl or the gem. Now, I don't have this done real well, but hopefully you can see. Now, a huge I've got the brain fog and the sleeplessness today. I did not sleep a wink yesterday. The energy shifts were huge last night. Anyway, depression is a very big one, and it doesn't mean not to get checked out with mental health stuff, but depression definitely is tied to your awakening and ascension process. Now the pearl over here is ecstasy. So the opposite here is going right to ecstasy. It's showing you your way to ecstasy. That's how I see it. So I've spent many years going through roller coasters of depression. Never diagnosed with anything, but definitely it's been tough. I've gone through some pretty tough months of my life. And that doesn't happen anymore. And I'm really grateful. So, but what it has shown me is my capacity for ecstasy, for joy, and my capacity to keep choosing it. So Sleeplessness. I'm going through that a lot right now. Who's going through sleeplessness? Put that into the comments. Now, with Ascension energy, when we're running all of this here, processing, integrating, releasing, adjusting, assimilating, sometimes some people just fall deep into sleep, and some people don't sleep at all. My husband is a deep sleeper through all this, and I am not sleeping at all. I did not sleep a wink last night. Every time I went to lay down, I could feel myself living out all these other living out and playing in other timelines and dimensions. And it was so much, I was doing so much work energetically, and I couldn't sleep at all. So sleeplessness, what I'm starting to do is need less sleep. Sleeplessness is showing us that when we are raising our vibration, we actually don't need to recoup with sleep anymore. So I'm noticing I need less and less sleep to function. Today's a little harder. I feel pretty wiped out today, but I am noticing this past year and a half, the sleeplessness has been very recurring. And when I put less significance on sleep, I do much better. So just know that the sleeplessness is showing you that as you ascend and awaken, you actually need less sleep. So that's kind of cool. So dizziness, does anyone ever get dizzy? Anyone have dizziness? Let me hear that in the comments. I definitely do. It's like I'm in between worlds and I'm like falling off a cliff or something. I'm like, whoa. So again, as I run these programs here, it's very uncomfortable, but there is a gem. So dizziness, I'm expanding. I'm becoming multi-dimensional, and I'm learning how to live in all those dimensions at the same time, embodying here as well. Or you could look at it differently. You're learning how to take all those dimensions and bring all that energy into the here and now. And that's a lot of energy. That's like, whoa. It's like, when you get oxygen, I don't know if you've ever gone to the oxygen bar and you get too much oxygen, you get dizzy. Sometimes bringing all our energy into right here, right now, it's like, whoa. So dizziness. What's that showing us? That we are expanding. So pretty cool. By all means, if you're having symptoms like this, by all means, get them checked out physically as well. So a lot of times I have all these symptoms and I have gone to the ER. I have gone to get them checked out, and I get every physical test and they're all just like, there's nothing physically going on with you. So I have done my due diligence. So people, make sure you get yourself checked out physically as well. And then when they say to you, you're perfectly fine, you're like, am I crazy? No, you're going through ascension symptoms. You're going through releasing and adjusting and transforming and shifting. So back to these here, brain fog. This is one I have a lot of right now. I feel like my brain is mush. It's the emptying out process, if you will. And that's what it's showing us, that we are emptying. As we ascend, we start to let go of ties of thoughts, feelings, emotions, stories, trauma, drama, all in our memory, in our neural synapses. That energy starts to fade away. And we have an emptying process, and that's okay. So start to love that brain fog. You're breaking out of boxes and forms and structures of the 3D reality. Yay. All right, so tired. So yeah, sleeplessness can cause tiredness for sure. But like my husband's sleeping a lot and he's still tired. And so what this is showing us is a sense of calm and slowing down. So I love how all these symptoms are really showing us our new way in our ascended self. So when we're tired, it's just learn how to just be calm, take it slower, take life more present, be aware. And so that's what being tired is really showing us. Now, all of these, as I said, it's all, the main symptom is just being uncomfortable. So I don't have all the symptoms. It might be different for you. If I am forgetting something, please put it in the comments. Anxious. I was going through that yesterday. Very anxious, almost like a feeling like my heart's racing. I think that's common for a lot of people, that ascension symptom. Just know that, if you're all checked out, You know that this is just receiving some big energy, or some big energy shifting, leaving, integrating, and that this is a new way for you. And as we release something, I'm going to skip all the way down to here. Ego death. Ego death. We're releasing a lot. Okay, our ego is going to make it hard for things to leave. All right. The ego death is bringing to us authenticity. We are getting more and more authentic with our ascended energy, our ascended self energy. So that ego death, the ego really makes it a big deal. It makes us feel awful, almost like suicidal sometimes. And we think we're going to die young or die early. It's a lot of times the ego is making us feel that way, and that part of the ego dies, and we're like, I'm still here. So that anxiousness can come with some ego deaths, and both of them are giving us some really potent gems, which is anxiousness is getting us to allow more, and that ego death is getting us to our authentic self. So we want this even though it's uncomfortable. Headaches. Been having headaches since my 20s. Nothing is wrong with me. So headaches is another big one. It's teaching us how to flow. It's teaching us that expansion and flow. It's also teaching us about what our body wants and doesn't want, and teaching us about awareness. So headaches can do that. So if you have a headache, just ask, what is my body asking for? How can I expand to help increase flow? All right. Again, this has a lot to do with assimilating and shifting and releasing. Okay, so headaches are really about flow and learning how to be more in the flow. Headaches are kind of like a resistance to the flow. So we're learning how to be more into the flow, and we want to ask more questions when we have headaches. What is this? What does my body want? How can I expand? Do I need to rest? Tired, calm down. All of these symptoms are showing us a different way how to be with our ascended self in these bodies. Grief. Grief is a big one, because if you're having ego death, you're saying goodbye. You're saying goodbye to a part of your personality. You're saying goodbye to a part of your humanness, because you are becoming an ascended master. Really, literally, you are welcoming in your ascended self energy into this physical form. And for that to happen, we have to detach from our personality, from our ego. And this can cause a little grief. So cry it out. Let the waves come, cry those waves out, and then come back to your authentic self. Again, this is uncomfortable. The main symptom of ascending symptoms. All right, agitation. Yeah, have you ever gotten agitated? Right? So as we destroy and uncreate things in our reality and in our bodies and in our minds, so much going on. Everything's integrating and shifting, and it could rub us, right? And all that's happening, and life's happening out here still, right? We're not in our cave. We're the modern mystics, and as we're going through all of this big stuff, we're still raising teenagers, we're still working, we're still driving a car in traffic, we're still having, food sensitivities, the weather sucks, or we're shoveling ice, whatever else, and all this is still happening. And so agitation can happen. And what agitation is showing us, that it's showing us a new way. Slow down, calm down, be aware, ask another question, reach out for help, right? So think about it. If you're having your ascension moment, you're trying to really expand and stuff, yet you have to go shovel ice. It's the last thing you want to do. And you get out there and you're like, and you're resisting. Instead, what would it take to get help with this ice today, since I'm feeling sensitive? What would it take to know of something that would melt the ice fast so I don't have to physically get in there? So these are just examples. Ask questions, see where the universe and your ascended self will send you guidance to have more ease with this. We can have more ease with the Ascension symptoms. And as we grow in our ascended self, we will learn how to ask those questions and become more aware of how this can all be more easeful. Doubt. With all of this happening and all of this happening, we go into extreme doubt. Like, what is happening? Like, this can't be ascension. I feel like I have like a brain tumor. Like, what is happening? Oh, I got this guidance. This can't be right. This doesn't sound like, I should be high vibing. Why aren't I not? Like, there's so much doubt that comes with this whole process. Hold tight, because doubt is teaching us to trust in such a profound way our own knowing and our ascension self and the guidance that's coming from there. And it's a process. All of this is not happening overnight. This is years, okay? Some people go through, I think Eckhart Tolle, he was getting more and more contracted, and he was feeling really depressed. I think he said he almost wanted to end his life, and then all of a sudden, boom, he had his ascension moment, but it knocked him down, like literally for days. Like he went unconscious almost, and then he came up and he was like, the ego was gone. And so it was uncomfortable up to that moment and almost like smacked him down. Most of us are having a little bit more easeful of a time. Sometimes it's like, no, smack me down so I can get through this. But that took time too, because after he got smacked down, woke up, there was his no more ego, and he was in a daze. And he was in complete trust. He would sit on a park bench for like days, just listening and in samadhi, and just, so, that has its challenges too. So I really like this gradual process where I can still be functioning in my life. So wherever you are with your ascension, and however your ascension process is showing up, be grateful for it, because like that's yours. This is how you're doing it. So these are the things that I've experienced, and I hope this is helpful. It's all pretty uncomfortable, but all of this integrates eventually and gives us these gems right here. So, the ecstasy, we need less sleep, we feel expanded, we're emptying, we're calm, we're allowing, we're flowing, we're being more authentic, we're saying goodbye to our old ways, and we're getting new ways, and we're severely trusting. All of that comes with some discomfort, but the comfort that comes in getting all these gems is so worth it. So hang on, and you can get through all these discomfort symptoms by expanding and trusting a little bit more. So it's the resistance to this process that creates these hard symptoms. So just opening ourselves up and saying, I'm opening myself up to my ascension self. I'm awakening with ease. Setting these intentions is really powerful. You have a headache, I'm expanding myself out. I am in flow. So whatever the symptom you're having, have the intention of the opposite here. And I'll put it up here right now, so you guys can see. So you can see that here's the opposite. So here's the symptom and here's the gem. So when you're having one of those symptoms, be sure to intend like what the gem is, where you're going towards, so that you can decrease the resistance to that gem and then let go of the uncomfortable symptom. So I hope that's clear. Thanks so much for tuning in, beautiful, beautiful people. This ascension process is an interesting journey, and each of our ascension process journeys is different, although there's some similarities. So that's why I put this here, and I hope this was really helpful. Let me know if this was helpful for you. Let me know if you have anything in the comments that you could add to this. We're here together as a tribe, just ascending together. So let's learn from each other. All right, beautiful people. I will see you tomorrow with a new topic. If there's something that you want me to address and talk about tomorrow, please put it in the comments. Namaste. Be sure to subscribe, like, and click that bell so we can kind of get into the algorithm as a tribe and get this content out there more. All right. Thanks, beautiful people.